Welcome to Deep Thought. Keep strong-minded people in your circle. And this is something I know I've talked about this before, and I'll probably talk about it again and again and again because it's very important. Now, y'all remember in the previous episode, I talked about many people lack hope. One of the things that many of those people who lack hope don't have strong-minded people in their circle. Many people have people in their circle who they just gonna feed their lack of hope. They're gonna feed their dreary. Things ain't going well, they ain't gonna have people say, hey, things gonna be all right. Nah, they gonna have people say, man, yeah, it's going bad. They gonna add to it. Oh, and that's all they gonna do. I'm gonna tell you what, as best as possible, keep strong-minded people in your circle, as best as possible. I would say this, sometimes depending on, you might have some family member or something that is dreary, not keeping hope or anything like that, weak-minded. I would say with that, you want to always be in a position where you don't have to deal with them. Sometimes you gotta love people from a distance. Sometimes you gotta love people, you don't have to deal with them, If they're a family member, friend, you might have to keep them at a distance. But you want to keep strong-minded people, because even when you have those low moments, when you have those bad moments, that strong-minded person can raise you up. That strong-minded person, you seeing stuff bad happening, that strong-minded person or people really, they can hit you up and say, nah, you can do this. You can keep some stuff going and everything, Because I remember during, it was a football game. I was playing in this church football league, and the quarterback, I was playing for this team. The team wasn't really that good, but the quarterback, he wasn't feeling good. But I was like, nah, you can do this, you can do this. And he was fired up. And he got back out there and was doing his thing, because I was strong-minded. Now, I can't say that for the rest of the team, but, I was strong, man. He was listening to me. So I was like, yeah. And I'm going to tell you what, it's very important, because remember what I said in the last episode. Many people are lacking hope out here. They don't have hope. They don't think things will get better. As best as possible, you do want to keep that strong-minded person, that person who's always thinking, yes, I can do this. Yes, things will get better. Yeah, things are bad now, but they'll get better. You want that person, you know what? If you get in that hole, and I talked about that a few weeks ago, if you get in that hole, you can still climb out of that hole. Either they climbing with you, or they helping you, or they at least cheering you on, saying, yeah, you can make it out of that hole. Those are the type of people you want to keep around you. Because one thing, when we have people in our circle, you do have a choice, even if they family members. Only time you might not have a choice if you're married to someone who has a negative attitude, but then you got a bigger problem. Like if you getting married, you got to have at least have that person who's strong-minded, who is saying, you know what, we're going to have this situation, because you're going to have that when you married. You're going to have bad situations when you're married. You got to have some strength. You got to have some strength in not only in yourself, but in the people around you. But other than that, you got a choice. I'm going to tell you something now. There's many people I've known over the decades who, I had to kind of, as we would say, shy away from, because they were weak-minded. They weren't strong-minded. But then there were other people, they were strong-minded. I wanted to be around them. You listen to them and they doing their thing. Because one thing with a strong-minded person, they not only inspiring you, but they doing something. They setting an example. Sometimes just seeing somebody, they doing their thing, seeing them climb out of a hole, seeing them do something can help you. And that's how you have to look at it. And that's who you want to keep in your circle. And look, you don't have to keep a bunch of people. It might not be a bunch of people. It might not be 20 or something people. It might be 2 or 3. Hey, that's all you need if they strong-minded. 2 or 3 people who are strong-minded in your circle beats out 30 weak-minded people. Because when you're around some weak-minded people, oh, they gonna break you down. They gonna break you down. Then just they not even trying. You know, you noticing that, they noticing that it's raining outside. You seeing that breaking the rain. You say, well, hold up, way over there is that like that sun coming through and everything. They talking about everything that happening, losing jobs. You're like, well, hold up, they got a bunch of jobs over here. You need those type of people around you who thinking like that. Because I'm gonna tell you what, and this is connected with what I was saying in the last episode about many people lacking hope. You don't want that weak-minded person around you. You don't want that person around you that doesn't have hope. You want that strong-minded person as best as possible. And I'm gonna tell you what, unfortunately, it can be tough out here. It can be tough. It can be tough to get in those circles. Like I know somebody's thinking, well, how can I find that? You know what? You just gotta go every day. Even if, and you know what? It doesn't have to be a super educated person or anything like that. You got some people, they might work an ordinary job or something, but they always keeping their hope up, they strong-minded, they keep it going no matter what. They could work an ordinary job. They might not seem what, society calls that successful person. Because I'm gonna tell you what, sometimes those successful people, they might look successful in one area, but then if you really look into their lives, things ain't really happening for them in other areas. You want that person that, as best as possible, is doing well in all areas, as best as possible. And we all got something we gotta work on. But even in those areas, maybe they not doing as well, or they not doing what you would think they would need to do. At least if they working on it, at least if they fighting, if they going through something, are they fighting it, or they just going with it saying, yeah, this is just messing me up? Or is that person fighting it? That person trying to think, okay, yeah, I'm in this position, but I'm still trying to build out of it. That's what you need to think. That's what you need to keep in your circle. That person saying, hey, I'm going to keep going no matter what. I'm not going to let anything stop me. I got this vision. Like I know this young lady, and she went through some hell from like childhood. I mean, I'm not even going to share it, but and one thing that struck me with her, she always had a positive attitude. And all the stuff she went through, nobody would begrudge her just having a jacked up attitude, just having a jacked up life. Nobody would begrudge her that. Even somebody like me wouldn't begrudge her that. But her attitude was, no matter what was going on, no matter what was happening, she always had a positive attitude. And I would say I loved being around her. Because no matter what was going on, she had a positive attitude. That's the type of person you need to be around. And even if they ain't like, best friends, just knowing them, just following their example. Sometimes the best sermon is an example, following their example, all right? I want y'all to think about that. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I want y'all to really think about that. Think about the people in your circle. As best as possible, keep strong-minded people, even if it's a couple. A couple of people, as I said, a couple of people is better than 30 negative, weak-minded people, all right? So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.